Good afternoon and welcome to Motivation Speaks with Angel Ferguson. Today is August the 30th, 2017, and we thank you for joining us today. We have the pleasure of having author Pamela McCoy here with us today. She is the author of Bonafide Bits, Where Inspiration and Intellect Collide with Your Finances. You can purchase a copy of the book via Amazon, and we will get other details on resources that carry the book. We have some questions for Pamela today in her business, so we want to invite you. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at angel@angelfergusonswordprocessing.com. Our mailing address is 7402 North 56th Street, Suite A and B, Tampa, Florida 33617, and our call-in number is 813-336-2181. And don't worry, when we are off the air, you can go back and listen to this podcast via iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Plus, YouTube, and all of our other social medias so that you can get a full caption of today's podcast. So we'd like to welcome you. Thank you for joining us, Pamela.
So glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Angel. Looking forward to interacting with your listeners today.
Thank you. And our quote for today is, as I was preparing for the day, patience is never late. We must all learn the craft of patience in order to get to our next level. It is by previous experiences that enhances our patience, and patience is our faith, and our faith is in God. And therefore, when your back is up against the wall and you are trying to find a way out to fix it your way, I want to encourage you today to take your hands off of it. Give it over to God and praise your way until you see a change come. Do not sit for a pity party because no one's going to sit and listen. And God is not going to move by our tears, but He is moved by our faith and our trust. As we know in Isaiah 55, He says, "My word shall not return unto me as void." So just as God has given you those words, trust in those words because the word is God. So trust in those words and trust in God that it shall come to pass. Style by Miss Lavette. If you are looking for a stylist in the Tampa Bay area, call for an appointment today. Her telephone number is 813-863-3270. If you are looking for cleaning services for your business or residential area, contact Fran and Ann's Cleaning Services. The business owner is Angelina Green. Phone number is 813-410-7922. We're going to take just a brief moment, and when we come back, we are going to learn more about the business of Pamela McCoy as a credit consolidation company. She has her own company, which is awesome. I want to find out how she got into the business and just how she applies those principles to herself. I do know that when we are walking in our purpose, we are the first partaker of all of our techniques. So it's going to be interesting to get all of this information. I can't wait, and I do know that we will talk out the air. So I will probably add to a podcast so that you can get a full CD on today because she has some great techniques, some great information that we're going to share with you. We will be back in just a moment. If you're just tuning in, you have tuned in to Motivation Speaks with Angel Ferguson, and we have author Pamela McCoy, the author of Bonafide Bits, with us here today. And I'm going to read off some of the services. This is her business card, is actually a resume. Financial literacy seminars, self-leadership, self-esteem, one-on-one consultations, as well as a motivational speaker. And if you would like to check out her website, check out www.bonafidecc.com. That's actually a unique name. I absolutely love it. So let us jump into the first question. When teaching about finances, and the reason why I'm asking this question is because the book is built off of spiritual principles and prayers. So we're coming from that aspect. We do believe that everything comes in divine order. So I wanted to find out, when you are teaching from a spiritual standpoint on finances, do you teach the principles of Malachi 3 and 10? And for those of us who do not have your Bible, Malachi 3 and 10 is taught on faith. It is taught on bringing your tithes into the storehouse. So I wanted to find out, do you teach from that standpoint?
When all of my workshops or seminars are customized based on the audience that is engaging me. But certainly when I have been engaged by a church or a faith-based organization, then certainly we're going to talk about and interject scripture throughout, because if you didn't know, there's over 2,000, I think it's 2,340 to be exact, I think, scriptures in the Bible related to finance and money and stewardship. And so with there being so many, that makes it really clear, abundantly clear, that he finds that topic, that subject matter, to be very important. And so he wants us to be good stewards. And of course, as a believer, bringing tithes into the storehouse, which is what Malachi 3:10 is encapsulating, that certainly is a principle that he teaches. And so thus I have to teach that as well. And in effect, what I'm saying is, you pay your tithes first, you pay yourself, and then you pay your bills. And then beyond that, we decide what we need to do. And if there's nothing left, then that might mean just sitting at home watching TV, and that's okay. But we have to be accountable and responsible for the debts that we create.
Which, there's nothing wrong with sitting home
and
saving some money, which is the end result. I think that's very, very important. And I did not realize that there were so many. So you've really, really done your homework.
Oh, absolutely. This is truly my purpose. So it's not like homework. It's just kind of you're in your place, and it fuels my passion, which is my purpose is to educate his people. And with the gifts that he has given me, which this is my area of expertise. And so, I am obedient, but it's not truly obedience in that it's not work to me. It is my passion, so I love it. And it's very rewarding. I say to my clients, your success is my reward. And so that's why I do what I do.
Awesome. We're looking at the back of the book, and once again, the book is Bonafide Bits. If you're looking for it, her name is Pamela McCoy. We also have the book here in the bookstore, Motivation That Inspires bookstore. You can purchase the book via Amazon, as well as checking out the website, and we'll get more details on that. Reading the back of the book, I love, my goal in writing this book is to be your MSI. And I'm always talking about a shift change. Mind Shift Initiator. I love that. Guiding you through three-part segments of inspiration and intellect that will collide with the financial thought-provoking idea. It goes on to say that biblically, I feel educating his people in the area of their finances is my purpose. I think it's so important that we find our purpose, that we find our position in God's plans.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that goes back to, Joshua 4 and 6, which speaks to my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And oftentimes people want to stop right there. But part B says that they rejected my knowledge. And what he's saying there is, the knowledge is there for your taking, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a choice that you make. And we all know as believers, he's not going to force himself or his beliefs on anyone. He's going to put it out there, and we are free thinkers to make choices, but with the understanding that every choice that we make, there is a consequence, and good, bad, or indifferent, there's a consequence. And so, adhering to and receiving the knowledge and applying the knowledge, and people often say, knowledge is power, but again, they stop just shy, because knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power.
You're
And
absolutely
so to
right.
have all the knowledge in the world and apply none of it, it has zero value.
You're absolutely
So
right, and this right here goes back to the session. And I actually was thinking, oh, today was going to be a break from the series that we've been in since Sunday, and that series is "What Does God Require of Me?"
hmm
So in reality, we're not having a break from that line.
absolutely, because he's orchestrating everything, and I didn't know about the storyline, but again, he orchestrated a time such as this.
Awesome. So our finances
hmm
and what we talked about over in Romans is that we should not be slowful in business,
absolutely.
and our finances are our business.
Absolutely.
So I just love the way God does what he does. And it just came to me. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't take a break. I was talking to someone earlier today and I said, tomorrow we will continue,
hmm
but there is actually no break.
Right. It's a
Uh,
continuation from a different perspective, and in finances is a big part and foundational in all that we do. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur or business owner, because in effect, we are all CEOs. We're CEOs of our life. And then by default, our families, however that family is defined or what have you, meaning that just as a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you have to make life changing and financial decisions, and those decisions have consequences and impact. And so, as a CEO has to read and be knowledgeable on their industry, on the reports, on their clients, on their customers, so many things they have to be aware of. Not necessarily an expert, because they surround themselves with people who are the experts, but they are the decision makers, so they have to gather that information. And so as a CEO of your own finances, it is the same. You may not be an expert necessarily on finances. Thus, people like me are put in your path to help you through that, to give you the education and the knowledge that you need to help you make the right decisions. And the motto of my company is to educate, to empower, to evolve, to enlighten, and enrich every life or family that we're blessed to be able to serve.
Awesome. So do you have, and I'm throwing this question in here, it's not on my list, but I'm so intrigued. Do you set up where you go and say for a ministry
hmm
and teach that ministry as a whole?
I do. Like as I said before, my workshops or seminars are customized, and it's based on the audience. So I have done churches, I have done women's conferences, women's groups, I've done book clubs, I have done schools, you know, post-secondary school, high schools. During the summer, I spend quite a bit of my summer working with youth.
Okay.
So because everyone needs financial literacy. And the earlier that you get it, and when I say get it, I mean really get the understanding on how money works, the true cost of credit, and all of those things, of course, the value then you experience over your life. And so I have, people that don't come to my workshops until they're 40, 50 years old. And some of them had some bad habits or behaviors that created some financial circumstances for them. But what I say to my clients is, it doesn't matter how old you are when you get it. The key is that you really get it. If you don't truly get it until you're 45, all that means is that your time horizon to benefit from that knowledge is shorter than if you'd gotten it when you were 20. But if you can truly get it today and generationally transfer that knowledge, then your kids and your grandkids get it at 15, at 20. So their time horizon to benefit from that knowledge is their entire adult life. So it's
Awesome.
never too late.
Awesome. That is great information. If you are just tuning in, you have tuned in to Motivation Speaks with Angel Ferguson, and we are talking to author Pamela McCoy. And so far, you've done your homework, which is good. I do believe that you should do your homework to show yourself, as the Bible says, study to show thyself approved.
Absolutely.
And she has definitely done that. The book is awesome. It talks about, I'm going to just briefly go over some of the sections. I saw change, which is spiritual, that we all need. Educate, we all need to be educated. Evolve, which is the change portion. And then what I really like about it is what are you going to do with that change?
Mm-hmm.
It does no good to just see it and not apply it.
Absolutely. And it's all about the evolution. And if you recall, that's one of my 5 E's,
Yes.
is to evolve, meaning you get this knowledge, and the purpose of the knowledge is to evoke that change. The change in your mindset, i.e. the MSI, Mind Shift Initiator, to change your behaviors that you financially have done throughout your life. And again, it's from this day forward. You might have made some very bad decisions financially or what have you, but it's this day forward. So I want you to get in that mindset. I get the knowledge and I apply the knowledge. And so it's this day forward. I'm going to live this new change and benefit from that knowledge.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have a few more questions, but before we get to those questions, I'd like to mention a couple of ads that we have. If you are looking to relax and you are unable to leave your home or place of business, contact Simply J Pace for her mobile spa techniques. She offers pedicures and manicures as well as facials. She will come to you at your place of business or at home. It's a good way to spend time with friends as well. Simply J Pace. Contact her today at 813-233-6429. If you are in the market for logos and designs for your business, organization, or even your personal use, contact No Mercy HMX Exclusives. The email address is jamesf@nomercyhmx.com. If you would like to connect with us, please connect with us via Facebook, Twitter, Google+, as well as on Instagram. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio station and link, as well as on Facebook and on Google. We would love to correspond with you even after we leave the air. Email us at angel@angelfergusonswordprocessing.com. We're going to get some more information on the other products that Pamela offers through her company. I see shirts, and she's going to tell us what GISCC stands for. When I looked at that, I had no idea. It's awesome. She has a shirt, the E5, some products that you can go onto her website and purchase. And we're going to get to that. I have one question. Can an individual offer a payment plan without going through agencies that claim that they could, I know they can't wipe out the debt or that promise of we can get it taken off of your credit.
Right.
So tell me how that helps.
Well, in terms of loan consolidation, it's not always the best answer for everyone. And so, like anything else, you need to do your homework, if you will, do your research. Loan consolidation, it is in fact something that you could do on your own if you're comfortable and have the knowledge in doing it effectively. And again, at Bonafide Credit Consultants, our number one is to educate. So our main mission is to educate you on how to do what it is you're trying to do. So in that consultation, we're going to talk about your goals and what it is that you want to accomplish. Not what I want for you, but what you want. And then we're going to come up with a plan on how to do that. And so loan consolidation certainly is something that you can do on your own. But again, there's a lot of questions that you need to ask and have them answered to determine, is that your best bet? And a lot of that revolves around the interest and what the net impact will be of consolidating your debt, because you might be better off financially to leave it broken out.
Okay.
So, again, if you're not comfortable doing that, then certainly reach out to Bonafide Credit Consultants. And the Bonafide is spelled different. It's pronounced Bonafide,
Yes, yes.
but it's B as in boy, O as in October, N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, the number 5, D as in dog, C as in cat, C as in cat.com. And all of my contact information is there as well. And you could purchase the book. If you are a physical book reader, then you purchase a book through my website or certainly through Angel's Bookstore. If you are an e-reader, you can purchase the book via Amazon.
Yeah, I did see it on there as the e-reader
Mm-hmm.
only. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. That is good to know. Have you submitted this to the public library?
It is in the public library as well.
Sweet, sweet. Um, that is good to know. I think that we need to be educated
Mm-hmm.
about our finances. It's more than just about making the money, but being good stewards.
Maybe you don't but the principles don't change. And so I welcome you to contact me for a one-on-one consultation, to do a seminar for your organization. Absolutely would love to do that. And everyone needs financial literacy, or as I refer to it, as financial capability education. And I phrase it that way is because everybody has some level, i.e., some capability as it relates to their finance, but you need all the pieces. And so maybe you're at step 1.
Mhm.
Well, then you might need help with step 2 and 3 to kind of get the whole package or what have you. And that's certainly what we do at Bonafide Credit Consultants, is provide you those tools that you can immediately implement to impact your financial future.
So, how long have you been in business?
I started my business back in 2008. Yes.
Awesome.
And my background, I've been in the credit, business, finance, banking industry for over 25 years. So, a lot of things have happened in that time frame, again, as you say, to prepare me for a time such as this. And so as it comes to credit, I have worked in and managed every aspect of credit, from the underwriting to the customer
Oh,
service to the
wow.
collection to the fraud to the legal, done it all. And so certainly my role is to share that knowledge for the people, his people, to apply that knowledge, to be good stewards of what it is he has for you.
Awesome. I think it's so important, especially when it comes to the church,
Mm-hmm.
because what I find is that the church does not realize that it's a business,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't really get the full understanding of what Malachi 3:10 stands for. It's we get that part of the scripture and we stop, and then we jump down to he will rebuke the devourer for our
Right.
sakes. But if you go a little further in the commentary and pray for an understanding, it is for the furtherance of God's kingdom, when in fact, even on a circular uh, natural sense, your finance is for the furtherance, say, of your dreams, your purpose, and your goals.
Right.
So you have to apply what, why does my finances need structure?
Right. Absolutely.
You can't get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You're not teaching your children.
And it's about, everyone wants to leave a legacy, and you don't want your legacy to be debt and sadness and all of those things. And not to say that money can fix all of those things, but money certainly relieves stress. If things are going well financially, that removes stress from your life. So, I've done a workshop on physical and physical. Do you know that there's a correlation? And most people don't make the correlation that your money, the fiscal, FISCAL,
Mm-hmm.
directly impacts your physical, your body.
Right.
I mean, when you think about heart problems and stress and ulcers and high blood pressure and all those kinds of things, stress is like the foundation for that. And if your money's not right, you're struggling, you're living paycheck to paycheck, the ends are not meeting, all those kind of things, well, then you're stressed, and that's going to start showing up physically. And also, people in those circumstances, they're having problems at work. Maybe you're short-tempered, or maybe you're showing up late, or you're not focused at work because collectors are calling you, and all of those kinds of things. And the root of all that is your finances. I often say that no matter the circumstance, the situation, whether it's relational, whether it's financial, you peel back the onion, there's going to be a dollar sign at the bottom every single time.
That's a good analogy.
Every single time there'll be a dollar sign. And so, we just have to be mindful of that. And you fix that, a lot of other things will just fall into place.
That's true. When is it age appropriate to teach the principles of credit to our children, for those of us who have children? And then I want to take it a step further with a part 2 of that. In this sense, with teaching our children about credit and finances, it's really a method to break the generational curses of debt.
Right. And what is the right age? As a parent, you decide what is the right age. The earlier, the better. And so if that is 2 years old, great. And I honestly believe that you can start, implementing some things at that level. Again, the correlation. They don't understand full sentences and all of that necessarily, but you just start making some correlations, because, of course, when you're talking about money and savings and all of that, it can easily be tied to work ethic.
Sure.
And so as a little kid, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, you want to start teaching them about picking up their toys and those little things that they do. Or if you're nice and you're kind, again, those are biblical principles, but secular principles as well. Your goal as a parent is to hopefully raise a child who's going to grow up and be an adult, a law-abiding citizen who has love in their heart for people and, genuinely care about their fellow man. And so those things can start really early. I think we kind of shortchange, they're too young to understand. Speak to them on their level. Kids don't come here making complete sentences.
That's true.
So we start out with little things, putting a couple words together, and then over time they have a whole sentence, and now they have a dialogue and conversation or what have you. The same principle applies to money. Start where they're at. And, again, knowing your child and how soon you should start implementing that. I partner with a financial advisor, and it's so interesting. He'll share the story, again, ethnically based or what have you, but the principle that he's showing is so true culturally, is that in some households, when it's time to talk about your investments, they have their children at the table. Other cultures send their children in the room to play. Mommy and daddy are going to talk business or what have you. And again, you have to know your child, because, you don't want your personal family business, financial business in the street.
That's true.
Kind of thing. But again, it goes to knowing your child. But at some point, you want them at the table, because that's that generational curse you're talking about. If I don't ever hear terms like mutual funds or bonds or investing until I'm 21, 25, my counterparts heard those terms at 9, 10. So now they've already heard those terms for 10, 15 years longer than I.
That's true.
Heard it defined several different ways. And even if honestly they don't understand all of the terminology, what they did walk away with is that it's important, because my parents had me at the table and I heard about it a lot. And so what I do know is I need to figure it out before I start making these kind of decisions. And now I'm an adult, so they're going to go seek that knowledge. And if you've never been exposed to that, then you don't even know to ask the question.
Hence creating a familiar ground.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so as early as possible, start exposing them to money and finance and the terminology that's around that. But again, as a parent, as an adult, if you don't have that knowledge base, then you can't teach what you don't know.
That's true.
And so you need to understand that I need the knowledge, seek that knowledge. And so maybe your kid didn't get it at 2 or 3 because you didn't have that epiphany
right
when they were that age. You didn't have the epiphany until they were 7 or 8. But you can't say, well, it's too late. It's never too late.
That's true.
And so you
That's
go
true.
get the knowledge and you start educating your child at that point. You know, because some ground is better than no ground. And you're trying to close that financial gap that exists. And so, you know, generationally, if your parents didn't know, then of course they didn't teach you. But you can't just stand in that space and say, well, you know, we made it this far without it. You know, you got to
Right.
make a conscious decision that when I know better, I'm going to do better. So I need to go seek that knowledge.
Awesome. And what I find when we're looking at generational things is sometimes parents can say they can actually will do this to pacify that. And you're teaching them the wrong way, so it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach them how to do it wrong.
Right. By modeling, because kids more observe than listen, if
They
you
do.
will.
They do.
You know, they watch what you do. You can say, do what I say, don't do as I do. But you can say that all day long. The reverse is always true. I'm going to do what I see you doing, even subconsciously, because that's my point of reference. And so the kid might not necessarily, you know, subconsciously be saying, you know, I'm going to ignore what my mom said and I'm going to do what she does.
Mm-hmm.
But subconsciously, you're going to do exactly that. You know, if you're used to collectors calling your house every night, then you just think that's the norm until you learn different. That how about if you pay your bills on time, they don't call your house. And how about, again, when you're talking about morals and principles and all of that, you make a debt, you pay a debt. That's how that works. And, you know, even flipping the script, if you will, and say, if I loan somebody $5, $500, and you said you're going to pay me back on Friday, I took you at your word. My expectation is I'm getting my money back when you said. And so when Friday rolls around and you're ignoring me, you know, blocking me, unfriending me, or whatever the new technology is, or whatever, I'm going to feel a certain kind of way about you blocking me because you know you owe me that money and we had this arrangement, this agreement, or what have you. And the reality is you may not know that I needed that money back because I owed somebody the money, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't even know the back end of the story.
Right.
And it really doesn't matter. You gave your word, and your word should be your bond. And that's really no different than with a creditor, with a car loan, with a mortgage. Those people gave you this car, mortgage, house, whatever, in good faith. There's a contract that says, but beyond the contract on paper, morally, you said, I'm going to do this. My word is good.
Mm-hmm.
And things happen. You know, life is going to happen to all of us, but you don't run and hide. You call the person that you owe and you say, hey, I know I said I was going to do this by Friday, but this came up. You know, you owe them that.
Right.
Kind of thing. And so it's really no different. And it's easy. Oh, they're a big corporation. They got lots of money.
Well, see, until you walk into the shoes of business owner,
right,
automatically people think you own a business, you have money.
Mm-hmm.
Because you own a business. But the reality is we can pay our bills because you've paid us
what you owed me for the services that were rendered or the product that you
right
received.
And there's this big misconception of
exactly.
And
but again, if you kind of remove it even from that tangible aspect, you know, then morally it says, you know, and again, we're trying to raise our children to be these fine, upstanding citizens and all that. And so that rule says, do the right thing.
Right.
And the right thing is not always the easiest thing, but you should always do the right thing. And I remember at the bank, my tagline on my signature block was, there's 2 rules to live by. Rule number 1, always do the right thing. Rule number 2, if you follow rule number 1, then there are no other rules. And people would kind of chuckle like, yeah, that's my signature on my signature block. Why? Because that's what I live by. You know, you should always do the right thing, and the right thing is not always the easy thing, but you got to live with yourself. And so you got to think about that.
Awesome. If you are just tuning in, you have just heard the voice of author Pamela McCoy. She has a book, Bona Fide Bits, where inspiration and intellect collide with your finances. And we are definitely learning a lot today. Some things that make you want to go back and review. And I always love to say your policy and procedure. Policies and procedures are not just for business,
Right.
they are for our personal lives. To me, it is the foundation of who I am.
Exactly.
And where I've been and where I am and where I have the potential to go. And we have to go back and we have to review those things. What needs to be changed, what's no longer working, what needs to be stretched, and what needs to be cut off.
Right.
So I definitely I'm learning a lot. The book it's good. It has quotes. It has prayers in it.
Yes, the book is a quick, easy read, and it was intentionally designed to be that. It's only 69 pages, and it's broken down, of course, I call them categories as opposed to chapters, and the 5 categories are my motto: the educate, empower, evolve, enlighten, and enrich. And then in each one of those categories, it's broken down into 3. So you'll have an inspiration, and that inspiration could be a scripture, it could be a quote, it could be something I read on a bumper, it could be something that someone said to me, because I've collected these over the years. So I have thousands of them. And then it will take that inspiration, it will give you a life application of that inspiration, and then it will give you a financial application of that inspiration. And that's the title of the book, where inspiration and intellect collide with your finances. And again, you can get that on my website. If you're looking me up on, my YouTube channel or Facebook, my Pamela is spelled different, just like my company name.
Yes.
It's no E, so it's Pamala McCoy. And again, my website is www.bonafidecc.com.
Awesome. We're going to take a brief break, and then I did see on the back of the book you're working on something new, so we want to get just a snippet of that. I know I always tell my clients, always give a teaser.
Yeah.
To what's coming up next. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to find out a little bit on Pamela's new project. And we are back with author Pamela McCoy, and you can find her book, Bonafide Bits. The ebook you can find on Amazon. We have a copy of the book. We have several copies here at Motivation That Inspires Bookstore. And you can also reach out on Pamela's website. The cost of the book is $15. It is very educational. I encourage you to get the book. Share it with your children. Share it with those that you are close with. Let us become educated in our finances so we can get out of the cycles that we have found ourselves in. There is an avenue, and I do believe that is what the purpose of the vision is for. When God gives us a vision, it is actually a plan to bring us out of some circumstances that we have found ourselves in. That vision is a plan, it is instructions, it is directions. We just have to accept it and live through it. So, Pamela, you do have a new book coming out that you're working in, so give us some details on your new project.
Well, I'll just say that this book, my first book, which is the more of the inspiration with a splash of finance, the next book will be the absolute reverse. It will be more finance with just a splash of inspiration. So it'll actually give you some tools and things that I talk about when I do workshops and seminars and things like that you'll be able to use. So, and I'm also another project that has been put in my spirit, and when I say confirmed, like just last week, 2 different people who don't even know each other or what have you said the same thing. You need to write a children's book. And that wasn't on my docket, but he just workbooks thing. They say you want to make God laugh, come up with a plan. And so now I have 2 books in my spirit that needs to come out.
Well, let me interject another one, because there's another one that
Okay.
What about the workbook?
Well, that's something that we need to look at as well, because in my workshops I do a little bit of the workbook kind of activities, but I've not put together a workbook itself. However, a project that I'm working with another client on, we talked about doing online classes, if you will. And so, of course, for the online classes, and this is we're targeting like early 2018, but the online classes, of course, would need a workbook so that the people would follow.
So that's the publisher side of Angel Ferguson.
Yes.
Because a part of our mentoring program is I've been doing workbooks.
Wow. Okay. So see, divine.
So that's the publisher side, that there is a workbook with communication and presentation skills, leadership.
Yes.
And there are exercises, interactive exercises.
Yes.
6 weeks program.
Actually, so I'm telling you, this is one of those hashtag GISCC moments, which she mentioned it on my t-shirt.
Yes.
And what that stands for is God is so crazy cool. And as I was sharing with Angel, that's just kind of what I say when you just can't explain it. You just know it's him. And so, yes, that you would say 6 weeks, because, of course, we were saying 6 to 8 weeks for the online classes. I kid you not.
Oh, my God.
And so, yes, this is a God is so crazy cool moment. And the fact that you do workbooks, maybe that was the purpose that, So, yeah, we'll have to see where this goes.
So, yeah, we actually offer a 6 or 8 week course.
Okay.
The options are DVD. The download, the actual workbook where we will go to the facility or they come to us. It's interactive with lessons. And so that is, we will actually release 3 this week.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yes. So we'll definitely talk about that. I do believe that as you are preparing for your next, that will be an addition.
Absolutely.
And because we need, I do believe that anyone who God allows me to interact with, I just can't have that meeting, but I need you to leave with tools.
Absolutely.
So
as we do at Bonafide. And so, definitely reach out to us to be able to do a customized workshop for your organization. No organization's too small. Like I said, I've done book clubs where there were 10 people in the book club. I have done audiences where there was 100, and so it just depends on the organization and what kind of outcome they're looking for, which will dictate, how long the seminar is. It a half a day? Is it, a couple hours? Is it a lunch and learn where we do an hour break and then, come back several days in a row or several weeks in a row or what have you? Everything is customized to meet the need of my client. So, and certainly the one-on-one consultations is a AB kind of situation. So certainly reach out to me for that information as well.
Awesome. So give us the website again for your company and how our audience can reach out to you.
The website is www.bonafide, and the Bonafide is BONA5DCC.com, or you can reach me at 813-495-8568.
Awesome. This has been an awesome show, and I'm looking forward to working further with Pamela. It's more than just her book being in the bookstore. There are other things that I do believe we should be educated on, and financially is one of them. I'd like to extend an invitation to you if you are looking for a church home. I would love for you to come and visit with me at True Life Community Worship Center. My pastor is Senior Pastor Calvin and Pastor Angela Green. The address is 7402 North 56th Street, Suite 600. And as we close out our podcast today, our motto is stay encouraged, encouraging others along the way. Thank you, Pamela, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
There will be a part 2 to this, so we will have Pamela come back and further educate us in our finances. Have a great day, everyone. Stay blessed.